Have you ever been part of a small group prayer time where you get to the end and it's time to pray, but you only have like 30 seconds left? What I love about the index card approach to prayer is it preserves prayer time for prayer. And the way it works is each woman will write her request down on an index card and pass it to the left or right. And then in your prayer time, each person will just pray over the request that they hold in their hand. And so every single request is shared in the context of being prayed for. But then you also have that card to take home with you. And you can become a woman of your I'll pray for you word as you faithfully continue to cover that woman's heart's cry in your own personal prayer time. It's the very heart of simple prayer, making a way for us to have a simple way to powerfully pray. Now, if you don't love this approach to prayer, that's okay. But because it's how we're going to practice prayer in our simple prayer small group study, I wanted to walk you through what to do. So before you get started, make sure that you have one person who will guide the prayer time as it's outlined in the back of your book. So you will find an index card prayer cheat sheet in the back of your book. Just have that with you each time that you practice your group prayer. Have 2 or 3 maybe ladies who are willing to alternate in this role. And if you have a larger group, this would be important. Have index cards that you can hand to each person. They can be 2-hole punch already or not. Have a timer. A phone works great. And then optional but encouraged would be to have a worship song and a way to play that for the group. If you have a large group, you might want to allow your ladies to cluster into smaller groups of maybe 5 to 8, depending on your total group size. But still, one person will guide the time for the larger group. And then the out loud prayers will just be in those smaller clusters. This kind of helps it to be less intimidating for people if you have a really big group. And it allows everyone time to participate, but within the time allotted. Some participants aren't going to be comfortable praying out loud, and that is totally okay. So assure them that this is a safe place to practice, and they can even just literally read the request exactly as it's written on the card, because that's prayer, right? But if someone wants to pass and they just want to pray over their request in their heart and in their thoughts, they can just tap the lady next to them to let her know that they are passing. Each week, you'll just follow the instructions as they are in the book. It may seem a little bit redundant or awkward, but it instills confidence about what the group is supposed to do. And they will appreciate it, even if it does feel redundant or unnecessary to you. So here's what you're going to do. Once each person has an index card, you're going to have them write their name, their date, and maybe even their phone number or email address if they want to stay in touch with each other during the week. And next, you're going to ask them the question, how would you answer if Jesus asked you, what do you want me to do for you this week? And how would you answer it specifically? So they're just going to write their answer on their card, and then they can pass it to the woman on their left or their right. Before you start your group prayer time, go ahead and give an overview of what to expect. So let them know you're going to start with a few minutes of guided group prayer, starting with praise and thanksgiving, moving on to a time for confessing sin, and then into the time of praying for each other. Explain that the goal is to allow time for each aspect or facet of prayer because it's all important. Since you're going to time the different allotted times, let them know that you are going to start the next topic of prayer maybe while they're still finishing up, and that that's okay. You may have to talk over them, but assure them it's only because you want to guard their time of prayer as well as respect time as you want to end on time. So when it's time for them to pray for one another, remind them again that this is not time to talk to each other about their requests, but to pray. And then they can use the rest of whatever your time is to be meeting to actually be in prayer. And then just encourage them when they're done, if people are still praying in their smaller groups, if you have more than one, to just quietly maybe leave that area and talk outside while others finish praying. So I really hope that this overview helps you with how to implement index card prayers in your own group, but I hope it gets you a little bit excited about practicing it with your group. It will likely feel awkward for everyone. It's okay sometimes to feel awkward when you're doing something new. Some people are going to love it and some people won't, and that's okay. It's just for this study if you don't want to do it anymore after that. And again, the guide in your book details exactly what to do and exactly what to say. So I can't wait to hear what the Lord does through your index card prayers with your small group. Please share with me either by email at shauna@shaunawallace.com, through our Simple Prayer Facebook group, or through the Contact Me portion of my website.